You're back from vacation, Joseph.
I am.
Not so happy.
I was in the Frankfurt airport for 5 hours. That was exciting.
Oh,
Oh,
because they somehow because of the protests there? Or?
No, it was just layover from, I was in Africa for 3 weeks.
Okay. I think today the airport is
more or less closed, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Glad I missed that.
Could have been worse.
Yeah.
yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, I don't know what happens in that situation, whether you get a hotel for free.
Depends on how you book it.
Yes.
Last time I went through Frankfurt, my flight was also, I don't know, delayed or something. But that was back then when it was VMware and we had this some sort of like, I don't know, I think it was Amex or something that did all the bookings and stuff. Like I think it was actually using the SAP booking system or something. I don't know. There's a product around it. And then you get a phone call like saying, "Oh, your flight is delayed. Do you want us to book a hotel?" I said, "Sure, do it." And I got it like a hotel inside the terminal. Right? Like it's like, okay, this is pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah. But that was back then. I mean, I don't think we have those types of services anymore. So.
Yeah. Yeah, we never had such flight experience, I think. At least.
I only had that once. And then after that, I never traveled again corporately with corporate travel. And I think the next time is going to be the CF day. And that's not going to be a flight for me. So. And also, we have probably different services nowadays. I've not looked into it actually, how the expense system works nowadays.
Much better, much better. Oh, AI inside. You don't need to
Hallucinate you a flight.
Nowadays, you don't get a call. It knows that you need a hotel and then just. Yeah, talking about Cloud Foundry Day, the schedule is public. They're interesting talks. You can check. Bosch is again a hot topic.
Yeah, there was even a talk about something with Carvel packages and Bosch that I still need to write.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was selected because of the Bosch keyword, not of the. Yeah.
Native Corifi. Wow, quite a number of talks. Okay.
Yes, we had more than 50 submissions.
Wow. I'll have to watch yours, Ruben, because based upon what you said, I have no idea what you're talking about. So there's definitely some learning to go there. Should I run this thing? I definitely haven't run it in a while. Fix my Zoom. Right?
If you want to do that to yourself after the vacation, I can run also. It's okay.
I already got some tabs open. You see my screen?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
All right. I don't know if Zoom updated itself, but I no longer have the green border for what's shared. So I'm like, I hope you're all seeing the correct window and not all yourselves on Zoom. Welcome everybody to the Foundational Infrastructure Working Group meeting on the 25th of July, 2024. Jump into PRs, I guess. I looked this morning if I was a reviewer on anything. Oh, this is from yesterday, right? I'm already just assigned reviewers. The this seems like it's probably not even worth talking about. It's just use the bundled version of Ginkgo rather than some version that we just randomly install.
Yeah.
And,
Can we merge, right?
Chris had some question on it.
Oh,
Should this not be in Go run? Yeah, that does seem correct, what Chris is saying. But not radically worth discussion. What's this? This is probably a mistake for me to be running this since realizing I have no context on anything. This is just waiting on reviews, it looks like.
The comment there, could you please check whether the dual stack is available on GovCloud?
Yeah, that's a good call. And if we bring back China, possibly China.
Yes.
All right.
So we wait for input from Max here.
Yeah. Makes sense. Some guy wants some stuff here. New VM type.
yeah. Crazy person.
Right. Got some reviewers.
Yeah, that was a PR from 4 years ago. And half of it was already merged. Now another customer is asking for the CPU part of it.
What is it? What is the interface?
Currently it's
number of
Boolean. So it's like
Boolean?
just reserve everything, but then Stevenson is asking, can we do a percentage? Instead, I've not been in any of the, I only have like secondhand information on this PR, although I submitted it myself. I just wanted to have a place to discuss this thing and gather requirements, basically.
All right. There's some discussion going on though.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's
I'm
used for
trying to
good and not
point
evil.
people that have opinions to this thing to voice their concerns. I think some of it is coming from Gemfire, and I believe there's another customer in another case also asking for this. So.
All right. We'll let that play out in the discussion, the conversation. This is still waiting on some reviews. Looks like there's some back and forth. Waiting on Ramon.
Yeah, Ramon is, I believe, on vacation.
Well, that's just going to sit there then. What is this? This is on the agent. Probably important for the C groups V2. I don't know what the current state of Noble is. C groups V2 is already enabled, so is the agent just broken or is this just clean stuff up?
This is about the firewall, not firewall stuff, right?
Yeah, most probably the firewall setup just doesn't work on Noble.
Okay, so the firewall rules just aren't being added on Noble currently?
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. And then this, I think, is still waiting on reviews for the C group V2 for BPM. Don't think 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. So you have been away and basically nothing happened.
Nothing's happened.
Also, the inbox is full.
Yeah, I also noticed that. But we did keep that one clean, so that's just from last week, I believe.
Yeah. Last day even.
Rush is a very active project.
The most active.
I think we are the only working group having meetings every week. And still so many things to discuss.
All the things. All right. Now the exciting part, the new stuff. Document new CPU reserve. I didn't. What? That's not merged. That's not merged, right?
No, it's not merged, so this is blocked. And also the interface is being discussed, so
Yeah.
it might not be a Boolean in the end.
All right. We'll just let that sit there, I guess. I think Aram was doing some cleanup and already added reviewers on it. It's stim build, so very few people actually care about it. And I think it's just a bunch of, it's using this like color logger that he was saying is optional and nobody ever turns on, and just adds a whole bunch of code nonsense bloat, including a logging interface that nobody ever seems to call. So there. At some point, me and hopefully other people will take a look at that. Nothing urgent though, just clean up. More stim build. Oh, this is after the other one. Oh, right. This is, I think, the main reason he wanted to clean it up is it deletes and cleans up a whole bunch of stuff. So that one's after the other one. Did it already have viewers also? Not yet. Yeah, we'll just leave it there for now until the other half gets merged, I guess, in the ladder viewers. All right, SOCKS 5 proxy. Now I'm interested. This is in our working group?
Yeah, I think that's what the washout proxy variable uses.
Reasonable. Set listen port.
Would like a test, maybe?
You're assuming there are tests.
We
There are tests. Yeah.
want a test.
Tests. Add some reviewers. Can request up to 15 of them. Ah, yes. Aram is changing the publisher pipeline, which was previously pulling in the Light Google Builder, stem cell builder, which I spent entirely too much time yesterday looking at the history of this, because the repo is never used. The Light Google stem cell builder repo it's fetched here and then never ever used. And I had this assumption that that repo was similar to the AWS Light Stem Cell Builder, which is some Go code that builds a light stem cell. That is not what the Google Light Stem Cell Builder was. It was just some concourse tasks, and at some point those were all merged into Stem Cell CI, but then like the remnants of it were never cleaned up. So that's all Aram's doing here, is just deleting a bunch of this old stuff.
Do we want to also archive that repo then?
I think so. Yeah. All of its tasks are basically in here, which they don't even use builder source. Yeah. Builder source was the repo it was fetching at one point in time, although the tasks never use anything inside of there. Yeah. Archived when the change lands. Yeah. Seems good.
Yeah, but that could already be a PR, right? PR could be
You
created so that we
you
do
can
not forget.
PR and archive?
Add to the community repo.
There's an archive section?
We have
No,
automation doing that.
it's all done. We have so
Better
many
than
things.
that, there's a process.
You don't know about the process?
I don't know anything about the process. I'll make a PR. I'll try to make a PR for that after this meeting. Where are we? What did I do wrong?
VEM. Oh,
What was that?
VM.
V?
What? Bulk,
What's wrong?
I typed life.
Oh no, yeah. Yeah, but it's because this is a different area. This is the
oh, okay.
we have one for stem cells.
Stem cell.
Oh yeah.
It's that something, yeah, that's one. Yeah.
We
Sure.
have a new reviewer in that area now.
Oh wait, what? I need to do this?
Haha. This is like a freebie. It's delete unused code.
Nice.
All right, and I'll create the PR for the community stuff, which
Yeah, I shared a link in the Zoom chat.
all right. Yeah, look at that. All right, now I'm curious. What are we doing? Oh, archived true. Oh, that
That's all. And then
that's-
remove it from remove it from our charter so that it doesn't show up on the board anymore.
Get all those light Google stem cell builder PRs out of here.
Yeah.
Cluttering things up. I'm kind of curious if there's any PRs or issues. Oh, there's an issue. Should this? Oh, well, thanks, Aaron.
Yes.
Yes. All right. What else we got? Bosch OpenStack CPI, Vagrant file reference Xenial, OpenStack CPI release. Yeah, Vagrant file that probably nobody uses and a script that probably nobody uses. Yeah, more cleanup. I believe Aram is on a quest to kill everything older than Jammy, so he's just searched all of Cloud Foundry for anything that mentions Xenial or Trusty, which is a noble goal.
What? He's removing Noble?
Sorry, not noble. Trusty and Xenial. And hopefully not anything that, hopefully he doesn't find anything that predates that.
I thought Xenial is supported until 27.
That's a good question. I haven't actually seen him remove pipelines for Xenial. I know we're basically done with Xenial. Is SAP doing anything with Xenial still?
No.
Yeah. Originally, it was supposed to end in April. And then Canonical was like, great news, we have longer support. I'm like, please don't.
Yeah.
I actually think Trusty just went out of support or some nonsense, like finally, because they kept pushing it back. I'm like, really? This is frightening. USN resource, more Aram stuff. Just stop using Xenial in tests. Sure. Sounds like a reasonable thing. We're getting a lot of freebies here.
We're working on our open source stats, right?
That's right. Pad those stats. It's just not. No. Oh, Aram added the groups already. Golang fix up. Bosch Linux stem cell builder. This seems very controversial. Yeah, that's more cleanup. And oh, here's an actual big one, which everybody got added to somehow. This one's actually
Wait, it was so urgent that Ramon even came back from vacation for it?
apparently.
Yeah, I saw signs from him alive that he's alive.
So it's just on the Jammy branch, removing all the Xenial stuff because like that doesn't make sense on the Jammy branch.
Mhm.
Bionic Docker files from the Jammy branch. Yeah, just a bunch of stuff. Nothing controversial, I believe. More just clean up to get the world smaller. That's it for the PRs. Speaking of Jammy stem cells, ooh, I can check a box. Jammy is currently broken. It's unfortunate that Ramon isn't here, but that's what he gets for going on vacation. So we merged a PR into the Ubuntu Jammy 1.x branch a couple weeks ago, maybe last week, I don't know. And then that was wrong. So then we cherry picked that over to the master branch. So at the end of the master branch, why don't I just open it? At the end of the master branch, it does this rebase where it rebases 1.x on top of master. That now fails because of a conflict in those, because it was cherry picked over. So like, yeah, there's a conflict that it doesn't cleanly resolve. I can resolve this if I cherry pick it myself or rebase it myself. I can resolve it and continue, and then resolve it and continue, and then I'm done. However, it rebases every time. So the next time it runs, it's still not resolved because this isn't a merge, it's a rebase. So it's broken forever right now, unless we want to rewrite the 1.x history. Also, nobody understands why there's a 1.x and why there's commits on 1.x. There's 100 commits on 1.x that aren't on master that get rebased every time. But if you diff the two branches, they're identical. So it's like, what are these 100 commits doing? Nobody knows. Why do we rebase them every time? Nobody knows. Do we want to just kill 1.x and like just get rid of it? Because we've never seen any value from it. And just go to like, rather than having Ubuntu Jammy /master and Ubuntu Jammy 1.x, what if we just had Ubuntu Jammy and that was the branch and there was one pipeline and not two pipelines? The downside of this is there is theoretically like, oh, somebody PR'd something and now there's a CVE and the PR breaks stuff and like we have to revert, I guess, is the whole reason we had this system, which we've never used in the like 2 years we've had Jammy. So
I mean,
we would,
I think this is still from the time where people had multiple lines. I mean, we could still have a 2.x line for Jammy if we want to do something really breaking.
yeah, we've kind of
Then
taken the stance that like we don't want to break stuff. And like most of those lines, there was no good reason for them. Like definitely I know the Xenial like 456 versus 621 lines. Like the difference between those was 621 supported signed URLs or something in the agent. And it was just like, that seems like a non-breaking change. Let's just add that in. Like, why did we cut a whole new line for that? It makes it easier to target that if you're using that as a feature, but like, I don't know. It feels like non-breaking changes are make the world a lot better.
Would it be that also in the past we start the work on the new stem cell line quite early before the, for example, Jammy release was there? We started on the previous Ubuntu version, consuming, so to say, the new Ubuntu LTS release.
Yeah, I don't think that any of this precludes that, like just having one branch for each canonical line. So unless anybody has objections, I'll make a PR and then we can look at it for eliminating this, making just an Ubuntu, I guess, a rename of the master branch. I guess that, I don't know how we do that in a PR form. I guess it would have to be part of manual steps as far as renaming the branch after it was merged. But as far as the pipeline, making it just one thing without this multiple branches.
I'm in favor of practical Git workflows, and if after many years it turns out some branching is unnecessary, simplifying and make it clear for anyone jumping into the project is always better. Maybe Raman would have something to say about that before
Yeah.
we.
I can make the PR to do the pipeline, and then I'll ping him on it and see if he has thoughts on it. We'll get him. Right now, we're sort of in a weird state where this is red. I guess I could just force push now, just rewrite the history and delete those merge branches from the 1.x because they're in master, so it doesn't matter. That way it'll go green, but then make the PR to clean this up permanently, and then get Ramon's opinion on that. And yeah, I guess it would probably potentially also clean up the pipeline YAML a lot too, because we could get rid of all of the spiff templating for the most part, because all of that's there to support this like stamping out line stuff. And if we don't have that, we might as well get rid of it. Oh, there might
It's-
still be some templating in there for the other
It's not
stuff.
YTT templating. It's really Spiff's templating.
Oh, it's YTT.
Oh, okay.
I believe.
Yeah. All right. We'll move towards that direction, but it'll just be a PR for now, so we can change if we need to. Any other agenda items before we look at issues?
I
Jochen?
wanted to raise a point, but I can do it later, afterwards.
Yeah, I think Jochen joined because he had something, right?
Yes, I just wanted to know if there is any update on the disaster recovery test issue, because it's still failing quite often and you have to recreate the whole environment to make it, to get it green somehow. Someone asked for the logs. I attached all the logs from one failed build, but I don't know if you need anything else.
Where is the issue?
In the chat.
It's
Chat.
in the chat here.
I gotta look at chat.
Yeah.
Disaster week. Oh, now I'm confused. Wait, this isn't. So I've been working on a lot of this recently as our teams were mixing up, and we thought that the disaster recovery landed on our team, but I knew about Bosch disaster recovery acceptance test, not disaster recovery acceptance test. Can somebody fill me in on what the difference between them is?
Oh, is there a difference?
I don't know. There's two repos.
Right. This is the first time I noticed.
Are drats for CF? Looks like it, yes. Interesting.
Scripts.
Oh, is this in our working group?
I would expect so, yes.
Because these are like my assumption here, and I'm making a lot of assumptions based on the fact that I just learned about the existence of this repo, is that Bosch disaster recovery is about testing BBR in the abstract, like, oh, here's a create in VM, and here's a VM that's got jobs deployed with BBR templates on it. Whereas this seems like tests around, like, I'm backing up a Cloud Foundry instance, and it's testing those specific BBR
Precisely.
stuff.
That's it. It's the right repo I just checked. So it's disaster recovery acceptance tests.
So
And on the right, there's a label foundational infrastructure working group.
Yeah, no, it is in
Interesting.
our.
Okay,
we should
good,
just-
fine.
Should fix that. Like we should just move it to
yeah.
a different working group.
But like that's
is
also
hopefully-
weird in that it's also weird in that, like, so we're over here in Bosch, And then there's Cloud Foundry with like a bunch of working groups, and this is like an overarching thing. So who would even own this?
I mean, I think this is like a thing to own for like maybe the deployments working group, right? Like this is totally their thing.
That sounds plausible.
It sounds plausible, but that's currently not the case. So
We
I've
could
never
have
touched
touched
this
that.
project, and
I mean, the problem we have is like we didn't even know this repo existed until 5 minutes ago. So
okay,
we definitely don't
good
have
that-
context on it.
yeah. Okay, I'm now
So
also
we
aware that
start
we
a
have.
voting.
Yeah, we can do a vote. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we
But
can
yeah.
make this, but yeah, I don't know. We don't have any CF environments where we can even test this stuff, right? Like on our
Mhm.
working group. Nobody
Is
has
there a-
context on that.
But is there a theory for right now that as to what broke this? CFCLI maybe?
Could be, but in the meanwhile, I'm not sure anymore, and it's also it's really difficult from the output to tell what exactly has now failed. Did the backup fail, or the restore fail, or something entirely different?
Right.
Yeah, here's the full logs, and
There's probably something that's not okay.
yeah.
I assume the errors are going to be near the bottom, right? That's where I would put errors. Oh, those are definitely timeouts.
It could be a timeout, simply, yes.
Oh, but a test is timing out now. Why did the test time out? I guess is the question. Is it actually timeout or is something?
So this got recently unstable, or was it always unstable?
It got unstable recently, so 4 weeks ago, and possibly related to the CFCLI version 6 removal. But it could also have been something different. Yeah, I have not checked in detail, unfortunately. I have not enough knowledge how backup and restore works with this toolkit.
I feel like I guess not. I thought we merged something into the Bosch disaster recovery acceptance test about increasing timeouts yesterday. I'm not seeing it now. I wonder if that's related. It's definitely some timeouts. And what percentage of the time do these fail?
50-50 maybe.
50-50. And is it always the same test or is it different?
I think there's only one. This looks
Oh yeah,
like
this does
one
sound
big...
like a very generic test, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's backing up and restoring. Yeah, fine.
I guess question is then, is it failing on the same step of the test each time, or is it like different spots?
I haven't checked that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stack trace here doesn't seem like it's going to, well, no. It might not even be, like none of these lines are like I failed on line X of the test. It's all Ginkgo internals, it seems like, so it's hard to say if it is failing on the same line. So we definitely CFCLI version 6. Which working group runs these tests right now? Does the deployments group run them?
Well, they run in the CF deployments pipeline. That is true, and that's what's blocking us sometimes from creating a new release, because you have to re-trigger this environment. So recreate the test environment. Re-triggering the test is not enough because it changes the state of the deployment.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't know. What about the maintenance of these tests? Are there still any active contributors, or?
don't know. Has anything changed on them?
I think we don't use this at SAP.
Sorry, what?
Well, at SAP, we don't use this disaster recovery project.
Rui Yang is still contributing.
It's part of the
That's
PPR
interesting.
working group, disaster recovery, but
Yeah.
Cryogenic CI. Yeah.
I think
Grant 2 weeks ago. Okay, so that's our like operability team or something.
yeah, the release engineering team, right? Doing the
Yeah, where did they live in here?
National infrastructure, we have to check.
Oh, are they in here?
Yeah.
Disaster recovery BBR.
Yeah.
That does seem like the right group of people. And it's sort of mixed in here, which is great. Disaster recovery. Yeah.
Aram is part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rui Yang is also maintaining concourse, isn't it?
it's that team. They do
Mm.
multiple things.
Basically all the people up here, I believe, well, most of the people up there are the ones looking at I guess they're looking at all this. So I did add all of us on our side over here, except me apparently, which is confusing. In a
Because you
PR,
are already a TL for the whole group.
I guess. But that was actually somewhat of a mistake because I thought that we were responsible for these things and it turned out I was wrong. Oh, but we are responsible for BBR itself. So this
Yeah,
is
so
like
basically the top 4, right? The first 4.
Or three?
And probably the
3.
exemplar one as well. So it's basically only the disaster recovery acceptance test that doesn't fit well.
Well,
But wait, the disaster recovery acceptance tests test the backup and restore SDK release, right?
No, these are the disaster recovery tests for Cloud Foundry itself.
yeah, backup and restore SDK release has its own set of tests. And then there's sort of, I think these are like, I mean, these are acceptance tests for that whole process. And then these are the like CF tests for it. But yeah,
It seems also the Bosch disaster recovery acceptance test are actually part of the release pipeline of Bosch, isn't it?
Now I'm a bit confused. So in
Or
our
they should be.
test pipeline, we use operations, backup and restore, enable backup restore. And this is enable backup restore uses the backup and restore SDK.
yeah. And it looks like
Sure.
Bosch doesn't have, the Drats aren't part of Bosch's release cycle at all because Bosch doesn't, it sort of all sits on top and outside of Bosch, which was probably a mistake.
But there's BBR. I'm assuming the director itself supports BBR, right? As in,
No.
you can back up Bosch, the director,
Yes.
with BBR.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, so there's probably some unit tests for that sort of stuff, but we don't run the Drats as part of that because Drats are abstract. Drats aren't like back up the director.
Yeah,
Drats
but
are
we should have a test to test backup and restore of the director itself.
And this is the point
probably.
of that repository. Yes.
Well,
Which one?
The Bosch disaster recovery acceptance test.
that could be. Although I almost feel like it's not.
Yes.
Maybe it's supposed to be. I feel like
Given
there's two
Bosch
sets of.
Director can be backed up using BBR. It says it in the description.
Yeah, but it's a lie. It tests that the backup and restore SDK stuff works in a create in VM and a Bosch deployed VM, but never like an actual director. It's just like, oh, create in the thing and then like back it up. I think there may be actually testing up an actual backup of a director here, but I feel like it
You got
was just
director address.
what's that?
Director address.
Yeah.
Bosch
Well, that's because it needs to deploy something to test the Bosch deployed backup. I don't know if it actually backs up the director. It might. Let's assume yes, it is great. And it does what it says it does. But yeah, this is in theory what that's supposed to do. But it's also kind of weird then that we don't run it as part of the director pipelines because all those scripts are exercised by this. We never change them, but we could, and then could definitely ship a broken thing. All of this is very tangential to the fact that the drats, not the BDrats, are broken right now. Well, flaky right now. But good news, I lost the tab, so everything's fixed, I guess. I will contact our operability team and see if one, they run these because they probably should be, and two, if they're experiencing similar problems or not. And I'll update this issue with that and
So
try to go from there.
maybe it's really just a timeout problem because something has slowed down. They can, I think, anyone should be able to see the logs on the CF deployment concourse. If not, I can give reviewer or something permissions. So if you need anything else.
And I'll try to dig up. I know we did something yesterday to increase a timeout somewhere from like 10 seconds to 30 seconds in some sort of acceptance test that was related to backup and restore. I'll see if that's at all related to this or maybe as the same root cause. Yeah. And we'll go from there.
Okay, good.
Anything else on this? All right.
What? No.
What's that?
I've
Oh,
added
that's right.
a minor point, yeah, on the agenda. I've actually experienced some weird behavior of Bosch DNS on Jammy stem cells. We've been discussing the new systemd resolver for Noble stem cell, which is working in parallel. But that's exactly the same behavior I've experienced with that version of Jammy. I'm lagging a little bit behind, so it's 1445. And so I have the Bosch DNS resolver in etc resolve-conf and 8.8.8 from Google, whatever. But and so I've added a handler on Bosch DNS configuration so that it can delegate to the cluster local to the Kubernetes deployment I was working on. And turns out Google is answering faster, and the names of the for the cluster local Kubernetes core DNS names were never resolved. So as a workaround, I've removed 8.8.8 from the CLAD config, and so that Bosch DNS is alone in etcd resolve-conf, etc resolve-conf, and I've added Google as how does Bosch DNS call that? Backend a recursor. So I've added it as a recursor, and with this setup, it's all right. So it just seems that Jammy stem cell is already sending DNS queries in parallel, and that it breaks the Bosch DNS semantics already in nowadays stem cells.
So you're using this handlers array?
Yeah, for delegating to core DNS, yes.
I can definitely not say I have any knowledge on this. I've never used this. I do know that if you're just using just resolve-conf, and there's no special handlers and you have multiple DNS servers in there, definitely Bosch DNS has an active one. Well, it depends on if you're using what smart versus serial recursor selection. And it will only go to one at a time. Definitely 100%. Smart, like, picks the first one and then it will hit that one until it gets some number of errors, and then it will make the other one sort of the primary one that it always asks. And when it gets an error, it will like go to the other one and ask it, but it's never doing it in parallel. Now, if you're doing stuff with the handlers, I've never dug into the Bosch DNS code and know what it does with that. I would sort of assume it just uses it as a filter for which recursors to use, but you might
Yeah,
need to look at the code.
Recursory, the handlers is very easy because you provide a DNS suffix, and a Bosch a job from a Bosch release can provide a handlers .json that is globed to configure Bosch DNS locally. So that's an integration pattern, very interesting. The Bosch release brings Kubernetes and says, hey, by the way, Bosch DNS you can delegate to Core DNS so that you can resolve the names from the node itself. So it's very convenient, but that's quite okay. I mean, this is the behavior of Bosch DNS. The problem is etc resolve conf. If I have two name servers, they are requested in the wrong order, or one of them is answering faster. I don't know.
So
But
we
it was not behaving as expected. Bosch DNS was first, but it didn't resolve properly the names.
Bosch DNS gets very little control over that. Basically, Bosch DNS is like, I'm putting myself first, and everybody on the system should ask me first. But it's up to sort of other people can read that file and be like, well, I'm going to just try them all. So it could be whatever is trying to resolve the DNS record is querying all those things in parallel rather than going top down, which is the default behavior of nearly everything in Linux. But there could be something that's like, I'm going to ask them all in parallel. And that's sort of outside of the scope of Bosch DNS because it can't control what other people are doing with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just using host and dig, the very standard commands from resolving names.
That is very surprising. And well, when you use dig, it says which server it came back from. So it's actually saying it came back from something other than Bosch DNS as the server that's returning the answer.
I should try again that one. Reverse the setup and try again. Okay, but I should file an issue then, and we continue the discussion on an issue.
Yeah. This is sort of a good thing that we're moving away from this pattern in Bosch DNS of like the resolve conf, because it is very much like this house of cards that we've built on like people typically do this stuff, and so we'll do this, and everything will work based on these assumptions, but like not everybody does things the way we want them to. But yeah, I'd say open an issue and then we'll.
Yeah, I'll do that. Right.
All right.
Also a question. I think Max was asking about publishing into UA region.
What's that? Publishing
in the UAE region.
Yeah, that would be then the other issue I wanted to discuss, but Beyhan finish first, please.
Okay. Yeah, so this is about I feel like Ruben,
so
you had some context on this, right?
This,
the region was enabled, and then the quota for publishing AMIs in that region was hit. As in default, it's 5, and I think Brian Upton sent requests to increase the quota. I don't know if that has been resolved or not.
Okay, now I see. Then just look for the issue then. Otherwise,
yeah, it should. Since we've already asked for the region to be enabled, the way this publisher works is it just like queries AWS like, give me all the regions, and that one will now show up. So it will It'll fail now until the quote is increased, but the next time we publish it should end up in that region.
Mhm.
And then there was another issue here about PXC release. Oh,
Yes, the latest PXC release does not compile anymore. And there was a proposal, yeah, from who was ABG?
is that Andrew? Andrew Garner, yeah.
Andrew Garner, yeah, that it could simply be because the compilation VMs don't have enough memory in our environment. So it seems that they're using something different to test the compilation, and I'm now wondering if I should start adopting the cloud config and then it works. I mean, the error message, I can't make any sense out of it.
Probably, and I would definitely trust Andrew Garner because he knows his MySQL stuff. And
Okay.
so if they had to increase it, it's probably the issue.
Mhm.
Yeah. And this is part of the pipeline that compiles these things to cache into CF deployment, or
Yes, it's the update releases pipeline that
yeah.
Consumes everything that is published on Bosch.io and tests it.
If you want to be more efficient, you can use Bosch agent compile, and you can just use your concourse workers, and you do not have to spin up any Bosch VMs for it.
Oh,
I
okay,
shared
good.
the
Well, that
document-
could
I shared
also
the document.
Yeah,
Share the
please share.
documentation.
But I think we
I
would
shared
have to rebuild a rather large pipeline, but okay.
No, but I mean, like, you could also just run it as a test to have an additional data point, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can even run it locally on your machine.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, there are docs here, which I'll put into chat, and some shared concourse tasks. Did we put those in the docs? Oh no. I thought somebody was supposed to do that. Somebody being me.
Yeah, but then you decided to go on vacation and forget
This
about
was
us.
like 2 weeks before
Like-
vacation. Where did I put those shared tasks? Who remembers?
It's probably in the cloud somewhere.
What the? So Bosch.
Didn't we? There was stuff being done for the Bosch director, right? To start using that.
Yes. Really? Got to be in the pipeline. Export, release, Bosch, or oh, it's literally in here. But that's not a shared tasks one. It's supposed to be a shared one. I'll try to hunt it down after this and I'll put it in the Bosch channel. But I thought that I might be mixing things up. I thought we made a shared concourse task that could be used and defaults to all the correct same things, because yeah, once you do this, it's really easy to compile in a concourse pipeline of release and fast.
Okay, good. We'll check that, and yeah, maybe I just ping Andrew to update on this issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other issues before we get into issues?
Nope. And we are soon to run out of time.
I don't know. There better be no issues in here.
Yeah, sorry, I have to leave. Thanks for your support.
No
Bye-bye.
problem.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. July 18th. this the last meeting? Yeah. July 11th. Oh, good news. There's actually almost no new issues. Interesting. This was the same person who made the PR. Good question.
He's trying to use this as a library in some Golang project. Isn't it?
Apparently, yeah.
Hmm.
After
So
this,
the
I'll do some.
interface is not, maybe the interface is not designed for such usage.
Yeah, I'll do some digging into how we use this in our various repositories after this meeting, and I'll update this with whatever it is I find. How exactly we manage this. And then I'll update that with move it to discussion. Should this repo be archived? Answer is yes. I was already going to take a look at that. And I'll make that PR. This is older than the last meeting. What is this one? Why is it still here in new? Doesn't look like anybody's looked at this yet.
Remember that.
Persistent disk, then provisioning. That is a good question. I'll see if I can track down somebody to answer that too. Bosch Docker CPI release.
Fairly unmaintained. Ah, Dennis. All right. Yes. There's no pipeline.
Breaking somebody's
Oh.
build automation. That's impressive. Bosch Docker CPI release.
He's from 520, a consultancy in the US, doing Bosch and Unreal.
This was
Like Stack and Wayne.
there was a release 6 months ago. Oh no, it was me. All right, I'll do that too then.
We find the culprit.
Yes, yes. I think that was the last issue, and we are 20 seconds
But
ahead
it
of
was-
time.
It was important that you discover your own mistake.
Yeah, past me is a real jerk. I've noticed a lot of that. All right, anything else?
Nope.
Thank you all
Okay.
for
Great.
coming. Have a good week.
Thank you. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.